welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Kyla, and we are going to be doing something today that I have not done in a while, and we are going to be doing a monthly wrap-up. It has been a hot minute since I have done a monthly wrap-up. It wasn't intentional, it's just been a crazy, chaotic summer. I am excited to share with you what I read because I had an interesting reading month. And I also feel like July was like light years long. Like Summerween was this month? How was that in the same month as, like, I just don't understand. How are we here? That feels like it was ages ago. So I don't know what's going on with time right now, but it was an interesting reading month. I had a lot of 3 stars, but I also had some wins and some like unexpected wins. So let's just get to it, and let's just start with what I did read for Summerween. I was planning on vlogging Summerween, but that week ended up being so crazy with work, so I didn't end up vlogging. I tried my hardest, but it just was not working, and I wasn't happy with it, so I was like, I'm not even gonna like try to put that out, and man, was it a wild ride. The first book that I read for Summerween was A House at the Bottom of the Lake, which is a short little horror novella by Josh Malerman. I love Josh Malerman. I am so excited to read his new one, Incidents Around the House. I've been saving it for the fall, just because I don't know, I just want to save it. But I read this one. I had heard really good things. I had heard that it had like that ambiguous ending, kind of like an Ian Reid style, and that it worked for some people and it didn't work for some. I honestly have no idea what to rate this, if I'm being honest, because did I enjoy it overall? I think so, but like I'm not sure. I'm genuinely not sure. In this one, we are following our 2 main characters. They go out on a cute little lake date. They are like new adult age-ish, and they go out on a date on a lake, and it's really cute. They're like canoeing around, having lunch. They're both a little awkward. They're both a little shy, and they discover this like hidden lake, and I'm gonna keep this like really short because it's such a short novella. But they discover this like hidden lake, and as you can imagine by the title, a house at the bottom of the lake, and things go off from there. And it is just like, they're cute, it's interesting, it like the writing pulls you in, and it was like intriguing enough to keep me reading, but then it just like, I don't know how I feel about this one. So gave it 3 stars. But like, it could have been a 4-star, it could have been a 2-star. I have no idea how I feel about it, so I put a 3, but like that's a loose 3. I really just shouldn't have rated it. It's just one of those weird, ambiguous, twisty horrors that like works for some people and doesn't work for others, and I feel like it worked for me in some ways and it didn't work for me in others. That's all I have to say about that. And then I read Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware, which, like, I said this in my July TBR, is I thought I had read this book before. I genuinely thought that I had read this before, and I had not. It was another book that was like very similar title, so I decided to rectify the situation and read Turn of the Key finally, and it just ended up being okay. It was a 3-star for me. It was alright. I didn't really jive with our main character. In this one, we are following Rowan, and she takes on a new nannying job, and it seems like it's too good to be true at first. Like, she sees this listing, she applies for it, and it's a significant amount of money, and all of the previous nannies have like gone missing or disappeared or whatever, and it's just a very strange situation, but girlfriend needs the money, so she just like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna do it, sign me up. She goes, she meets the kids, the family, whatever. She thinks things are like a little bit strange, but like she's trying not to question it too much because she really needs the money, and it goes off from there. And I don't know, I didn't enjoy her as a character, and the way this unfolds, like, it is a little bit eerie. Anything to do with children is eerie to me, okay? I've said this before. It's just creepy, but there was just something about it that I was just a little bit bored throughout the whole thing. I think I was just expecting too much because this one is so hyped up from her, that I was expecting this like huge twist. And while one of the twists did get me, I did predict the other one, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about it. I think I just wanted more overall, and because I didn't really connect with her as a character, it just was like overall okay. I also did not jive with the writing style of this, which is weird because it's written in like some of it, not all of it, but some of it is written in like vignette form. So we get like letters because she is telling the story. This is not a spoiler. She's telling the story from jail. Like right off the get-go, within the first like few pages, you know that she's in jail and she's writing to, I think, the district attorney or like a lawyer or something like that, and trying to share her story. Claims she's innocent about what happened at the house, and normally I am one of those people that loves letters and that kind of thing, like woven. I'm a mixed media gal, so anytime there's anything different in a book, I really enjoy that. Whether it's letters, whether it's a podcast, whether it's interviews, what have you. I usually really enjoy it, but for some reason it just did not work for me in this book. I don't know if it was because of the character or because of the writing style. It was a little bit different. I just really didn't enjoy the way that it was told overall. So it was okay. Like, is it a good thriller? Yes. I can see why it's some people's like absolute favorite from her. I have not read all of the Ruth Wares. I've read a few. She's just not my favorite thriller author, so I think I was just expecting more from this one because everyone loves it so much, but it just fell middle of the road for me. We did end Summerween with 2 wins though. We had, oh my god, I was like so shocked by this because this is not an author that I have read from before, but after reading this, I definitely want to check out more from her, and that is I thought that was upside down for a second. Where is my brain? Darl Girls by Sally Hepworth. Can you tell I haven't filmed one of these in a while? I have not read a Sally Hepworth before. Like I said, this was my introduction to her as an author, and this was a 4.5, like borderline 5-star for me. I really enjoyed this. I honestly think I should probably bump my rating up at this point because it is one that I keep thinking about, and it's mainly because of the sister relationship in here. It is just so incredibly well done. We are following 3 sisters or 4 sisters? I think it's 3 sisters who grew up in a foster home together, and some shit went down in the foster home. Honestly, that's all you need to know going into this. That's all I knew, and that was the perfect amount. I don't want to elaborate anymore because I just feel like everyone needs to go into this book blind, especially with it being a Sally Hepworth, and the like cover gives it such summer vibes, but it's actually really dark, and I so enjoyed it. Like I said, I really enjoyed the sister relationship here, the way these 3 women bonded in the foster home and really like looked out for each other despite what was going on, and how that continued through adulthood just really pulled at my heartstrings and was so well done, while also leaving this like air of mystery. So while I wouldn't consider this like a thriller by any means, I would definitely consider it more of like a psychological drama or a family drama, but don't let that deter you because it is so incredibly well done. Those are ones that I don't tend to gravitate towards, but I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed her writing. I enjoyed her storytelling. I think the pacing was incredible. We get point of views from all of them, and you really get a handle on their personalities and what's going on and how everything like affected them individually, but also as a unit, and I just think it was incredible. And then the ending, the ending, the last chapter in this, oh my god, while not like shocking, and I loved it. I was like, yes, this is exactly how you should end a book like this. Oh my god, I absolutely loved it. So like, in the moment, am I bumping it up to a 5? I think I might be bumping it up to a 5. It was just so well done, and it's one that I cannot stop thinking about. And then my other 5-star from Summerween was Hidden Pictures by Jason Recolleck. I think that's how you say his last name. I'm so sorry if I'm wrong, but this one is like sitting in my bones. It's another one that I cannot stop thinking about, and I know he has a new one coming out, and that makes me very excited because I really enjoyed his writing. I really enjoyed his storytelling, and this one, I know it's a backlist, so many of you probably read it already, but this one really just hit me. Again, with the creepy children, that is a trope that I am finding that like really gets me in horror. If there is something to do with a child, I just find that so unsettling in the best way, and I really love it. If it's well done, I love it, and this one really worked for me. Similarly to Turn of the Key, we are following a nanny. So in this one, we are following Mallory. She is fresh out of rehab. She has had a really rough life. She is fresh out of rehab, trying to find work, and she has a sponsor like working with her, and she applies through someone I believe that the sponsor knows or something like that for a nannying job for this small little boy. And when she goes to like through the interview process, the husband is asking like all these weird questions. He's acting really strange, but she really connects with the little boy, and the mother sees that, so they end up hiring her. They know everything that's like gone on with her. And the thing with this little boy is that he loves to draw, but some of his drawings are a little bit disturbing, and then the story goes off from there. And one thing I love about this book is that in the book itself, you get the drawings of the little boy, and they are wackadoodle time, and it's so good. It just adds this extra creepiness to the story, and I really enjoyed this. I actually loved Mallory as a main character. I just thought she was so well done. I love that she was just taking ownership for like what she's done in her past and where she is now and how that affects, you know, her opportunities and things like that, but also like getting back on her feet. And while like I don't completely agree with some of her decisions throughout this book, I just really enjoyed her as a character, and her connection with the little boy was just so cute to like see unfold, and he was so well done. This little boy was so well written. I listened to the audiobook for this one as well, and it was so incredibly well done. Narration for this little boy was incredible. He was adorable. You can't help but like connect with him too, and I just really loved their relationship. And then everything just goes, and it is just, I just loved it. I just loved it. I feel like I was creating more anxiety for this book than like actually was inside of it. Again, just something to do with like a child is just unsettling, and so like I was building it up more like in me than like was actually happening in the book, but I think that heightened my experience and just made me enjoy it that much more. So while the ending wasn't like as over the top as I was predicting it was going to be, I still really loved the ending and how everything came together. And I just really loved like the epilogue chapters too. I feel like that was very real and like relatable, and I just think it's so well done. I absolutely love this book. I will be buying a copy of it for sure, and I cannot wait to check out his new one, because if I enjoyed this one so much, ooh, and this one has to do with a wedding. Stop. That's like a magic word for me. So that was all that I have read for Summerween. Then I also read the next in, I don't even know what this, the Ruinous Love trilogy. I guess that's like a good title for it. Leather and Lark. The first one is Butcher and Blackbird. This is a serial killer romance series, and this one was just okay for me. I'm giving it 3 stars. I definitely enjoyed the first one way more. This is gonna sound really terrible coming out of my mouth, but if you've read these books, you know, and like you're expecting one thing. This had less serial killery vibes than I wanted. I really enjoyed that in the first one, while disgusting, it just made the book that much more fun. And honestly, like that much more dark. This one, there was less of that, and the ones that like did take place were honestly just a little ridiculous for me. Now, were the ones in the first one ridiculous? Yes, absolutely. But this one involved something where I was like, really? 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 I don't know. Which makes me just a little bit sad because Lark was one of my favorite characters from the first one, so I was really looking forward to this story. But this was just heavy on the romance, and like instantly we're just there, and it's also a little bit repetitive from the first one. Now I feel like that was what done so like maybe people coming into this could read them individually, but if you've read the first one and then you go to this one, I do find it was a little bit repetitive, like even repeating some scenes from like their different point of views, and I was like, we've been here before, right? I'm not going crazy, I've been here before. So that was a little bit much. I don't know, their romance was just like too romancy for me, which sounds ridiculous because it's a romance. Like most people would want it to be really romancy. I was here for the serial killer vibes and then like the slight romance on top of it, and I feel like this one was just lacking in that a little bit. Will I read the next one? Yes, I will. I will round out the trilogy. I'm here, I might as well, but I definitely enjoyed the first one more than I enjoyed this one. And then we have the books that I read while I was on vacation, which I actually did do a whole vlog on, so I will link it in the cards as well as below for you. So I will quickly go over these ones because I did go in depth talking about them in the vlog, and it's actually on the shorter side. It's not like my longest vlog in the world, which is crazy. That never happens. I am a long vlogger. So that's beneficial to you. The first one was Bless Your Heart by Lindy Ryan. This one was a new release from this year that I was really looking forward to. It was giving me Maureen Kilmer's Suburban Hell vibes, which is a book that I read on vacation last year and really enjoyed. It's kind of like that like cozy popcorn horror, and so this was giving similar vibes and I was so looking forward to it. This one, we are following 3 generations of women who own a funeral parlor, and some things start happening in their small town, and maybe the dead aren't staying so dead, but there's a lot more in this like small town having to do with like curses and things like that, and I really enjoyed like the generational stuff. I just love that in books, and I feel like this one was really well done. It was somebody compared it to like Steel Magnolias, and I think that is definitely spot on. It's like Steel Magnolias, but make it like slightly horror with like witchy vampire zombie vibes, and like that's what this book is, but it was just a little bit meh for me. I don't know. As the book went on, and this book is not that long, it's only like slightly over 200 pages or so, but as the book went on, I just found myself a little bit more bored and not as like invested in the story overall. It wasn't as like gory or anything like that I was hoping for, and because I do think that like cozy horror can still have that element to it, and this one just didn't. It just overall fell a little flat for me. I definitely will check out more from her, and I just love this genre so much, so I'll definitely continue to read more of them, but it didn't hit as much as Suburban Hell did for me. And then we read everyone's read for July, and that was Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. I can't go a summer without reading a Riley. I will continue to read from Riley. But this one, completely eating my words. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but I am eating my words. I have been wanting a male protagonist from him for a while. We've seen the messy female over and over and over and over again, and I thought it was about time that we got a male point of view. I take it back. I want the messy female characters again, because this was boring. It was boring. This, I said, was a 3-star. It was just hitting in like the middle of all of his books for me. But the more I think about it, the more it's like falling down, like in my ranking, but also in rating. I feel like this might be more of like a 2, maybe a generous 2.5. I just really found this so boring. I found the male protagonist really boring. And this one we're following, what's his name? What is his name? Ethan. Couldn't even remember his name. We are following Ethan as he's come back to his small town to live in his parents' home. When he was a young child, him and his best friend were camping out in the backyard. He wakes up in the morning and his friend is gone. Gone, and no, like, was never found, no answers, no nothing. The police had like some suspects, but they weren't sure. And he, now being back in his childhood home, of course has like, he has no memory of what happened. He was in the tent with him, but like no recollection other than maybe having a weird dream every once in a while, which he's not sure is like real or fake or what have you. So he comes back to this house and decides that he wants to like try to uncover what happened to his best friend. And everyone in this neighborhood like still is there, so he's trying to like piece it all together. Ethan, very flat. He was a very flat character. While Riley tried so hard to give him a little bit of depth, it didn't work. It did not like redeem his character in the slightest for me. While I felt for him once we got some sort of reveals, I was like, okay, but like that doesn't redeem how he is so boring. He is literally just so one-sided, so flat, and this mystery and this story felt so drawn out. This book is so slow. So slow. Such a pacing issue, because at the beginning we have these very long chapters, and then we start to get really shorter chapters, and then they're long again, and then they're short, and it was very interesting choice to do that. I felt like it made it feel like it dragged on forever. I'll say the atmosphere in this is good. The small town vibes are good. I really enjoyed that part of it. I liked the 90s vibes we have in here, and like references to certain things, but that was really like the extent of like my enjoyment. I found some of the twists to be extremely predictable, and while some of them were still a surprise, they weren't surprising enough for me to be like, oh my god, this is the best Riley ever, or like redeem the rest of the boringness that is this book. It is so mundane. So mundane. I am now questioning my ranking. I honestly think that I enjoyed like Survive the Night more than this, because at least that had like anticipation. I don't know. I even did a ranking on Instagram, and now I'm like, is that ranking true? I'm not really sure. It changes every single day, but it was just okay for me. So I'm gonna say it's a 2, 2.5, 3, somewhere in there. Not my favorite, and I would love for him to go back to doing the messy female protagonist, because at least they have layers to them, and they're enjoyable to read from, even if they are a hot mess. We didn't end on a low note, though. We actually landed on like the highest of high notes, because my next read and my final read for July was Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, and like 6 out of 5 stars. This book is going to be one that I think about for a long time. All of her books are, really. I'm still thinking about yours truly. That book is so good. The anxiety representation in that book is like spot on and made me feel so seen. This book, oh my god, it's incredible. It's incredible. In this one, we are following Emma and Justin. They both have a lot of life things going on right now, and they both believe themselves to be a little cursed. Like, everyone that they date and break up with then goes on to find their forever person. So they like hash out this kind of fake dating situation, or like they commit to dating each other but then breaking up so they each can go on to find their soulmates. And as you can imagine, that doesn't really work out as planned. But they also have so much life things going on, and I don't want to give anything away because I do think this hits a lot harder not knowing going into it. But oh my gosh, this book has so much emotion packed into it, and it's not even things that I have personally gone through, and I felt for these two beyond belief. And there's something that happens at the end of this book where I was sobbing at the end of this book, okay? Like, full on crying on the couch. It was a moment. But there's something that happens at the end of this book where I have never seen this done before, and any sort of romance, any book, even like a literary fiction, I have not seen this done, and it was so incredibly impactful and just made me fall in love with Abby as a writer even more. I would definitely look up the trigger warnings for this book because I do feel like this is going to hit a lot of people very differently, and especially if you have been through a situation like them. Emma has not necessarily had a great childhood. Her mother was very absent, and the things that she went through is just unheard of. And Justin is dealing with a situation with his own mother that just like brings on a lot of emotions too. And I just feel like all of it was so well done, but I definitely would look up the trigger warnings before reading it. I don't know what else to say. It's 6 out of 5 stars. Like, this writing is incredible. Abby makes you feel like you are watching a movie instead of reading a book, and I think that's why it got me so emotional, because I was like, I can see this playing out. Like, in my head, I can visualize it perfectly, and that just made me that much more emotional. It's a perfect book. It's a perfect book. I have no notes, and it will definitely be on my favorites of the year. It's one that I can't stop thinking about, and like a book that can make me sob like that, instantly a fave. So that is all of the books that I have read in the month of July. I would love to hear what you read this month. What was your favorite? What was your least favorite? Have you read any of these? Are they still on your TBR? Let me know all of your thoughts and feels. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe if you are not already. Turn the bell so you never miss a video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!
With you and I, the future